Now, if there is something that I've been very curious about in the recent times of my life, is the idea that life is all a pattern. Now, I was going through my old books and a few small documents at home, and I came across a book I used to carry around in my early secondary school. I think senior 1, senior 2, senior 3 there. And that book was called The QI Book Advanced Banter. Now, if you search this book around, it's a book of quotes, and it's quite an interesting book, and I would really recommend anyone that is doing the kind of things that I do to pick it up. Now, as I was going through it, I realized how important it is to me now that I am doing podcasts, blogs, and things of that sort, or being generally a content creator. Because this book has quotes of famous people and all those influential individuals that ever lived on this world. Now, there is a quote that piqued my interest and so led to this podcast episode. And that quote goes like this: that doubt grows with knowledge. It's as simple as that. Doubt grows with knowledge. Oh, I would say doubt. I don't know. But doubt grows with knowledge. And it came to pick me that this is actually something we have never thought about. So I made some research and prepared to say something about it. And I believe this is a very, very, very interesting idea. The idea that the more knowledge you have, the more you become doubtful. And that doesn't mean that doubt is a weakness. Doubt is a side effect of wisdom. And throughout this episode, you realize how important it is for you to have doubt. I'll begin with the idea of the confidence of ignorance and the doubt of knowledge. Now, you've realized that there are people, whenever we are beginning something, we often feel more certain than the experts. I would say my journey, professional journey as a real estate person, when I was starting out, fresh graduate, I felt I knew everything. And in one way I knew, yes, obviously there are some things you're going to learn along the way, but I felt because I have a degree, because I actually studied this, I actually know a lot. But I actually didn't know anything. And it is with the knowledge, when you meet people that have more knowledge, the experts, they'll tell you, no, that's not how that thing works. There is a lot of doubt within them. And it's because they have the wisdom and the knowledge about whatever you want to do. So that's where the confidence of ignorance comes from. That I had a lot of confidence in the ignorance that I had. In the little things that I knew, I felt, obviously, if I was to start a company, this is what I do. I just register the company. Tomorrow we are moving, we are getting estates, we are getting clients, we are doing what. But the reality is different. And that's why that Dunning-Kruger effect is, that why people with little knowledge overestimate their competence. Now, we had very little knowledge, me and my friends. We had very little knowledge on how actually real estate business works. but we were very confident and even overestimated our competence. That to some point we were like, let's do our part, market, people will come to us, which is not the case. And that's not how actually that business works. As time has gone on, as we have learned going on. And that brings me to understanding how it is a side effect of wisdom, the doubt being a side effect of wisdom. Now, as we kept on learning more and more to the things that we were doing in the business, we then generated a bit of some doubt. And that doubt is a side effect of the wisdom that we have. That now you would know, nah, this can't work out because of this and this and this. Because these results come from this. And whatever we are doing now may not bring the result that we want. All that is wisdom and knowledge and experience, which brings in the doubt. Now, doubt is not really a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of growth. And I'll definitely support myself by saying, when you start feeling doubt, just know you're growing, because it means that you have more knowledge in whatever you are trying to pursue. True intelligence isn't about certainty. It's about knowing how much you don't know. So when you have doubt, you definitely then know what you don't know. Because that doubt is just a side effect trying to tell you that there's something you're missing. How can I phrase it? That, let me say you're going through a business deal, and then you feel some bit of uncertainty, and you feel like, nah, this guy is not telling me the right stuff. This guy is not giving me all the information. That is doubt. And that doubt comes because of the knowledge you have. The knowledge that you have picked up over the years. Experts always question themselves because they understand complexity. Now, complexity comes from something being very complex, something being very hard to penetrate with normal understanding. And remember, for you to be an expert, you need to have gathered experience, because the word expert comes from experience. You need to have a gathered experience, knowledge, and all that. So, experts always questioning themselves because they understand complexity is because of the doubt. And that doubt is you questioning yourself. Is there something more? Is there something I should keep doing? Is there something I should... Which brings me to the idea that you need to embrace uncertainty. That doubt is where the uncertainty is. Because doubt will always force you to keep your mind open. Keep your mind open to whatever things that are going to come along the way. In my own experience with doubt, I'll tell you, it's over time when people come and ask me, how do you do podcasts? How do you set up the whole thing? How do you do this and this and this? Now, with the experience that I've had, because this will be, I think, episode 34, making it 34 Mondays. So, with the experience that I've had, most of the people, when they tell me something, I be doubtful, because I know I know whatever they are going to go through and what they are not going to accomplish, because that is the confidence of ignorance. And me having the doubt of knowledge, that I know exactly what you're not going to do right, because you're coming in with that confidence that everything is going to be okay, the numbers are going to come in and all that. People started listening to my podcast, I think, when I was in podcast episode 10 or 5 there. So I had 5 episodes that people didn't listen to. They later listened to them after, because they had picked a few. Even up to now, I don't have big numbers. But when I see someone talking about starting a podcast, they speak out of a lot of confidence. What? Because all beginners often feel more certain than experts. I'm not calling myself an expert, but with experience, you become an expert. So that is the thing. That doubt that we always have is just a strength in disguise. Many people think it's a weakness, but it's a strength in disguise, because doubt always keeps your mind open to what am I missing. And whenever you know that there could be something I'm missing, you definitely find the best way to do whatever you want to do. So ideally, a Bezos episode is never impactful if I don't leave you with practical tips on making peace with doubt, because all of us have doubt at some point. Feel like I need to take this slow, I need to do this, but your doubt is coming because you have more knowledge. That's why the title is Doubt Grows with Knowledge, and it's just a symbol or a sign that you are growing. So the practical steps of you making peace with your doubt is you need to learn to be comfortable with saying I don't know. Now, this is something I've learned the hard way. I currently got a new job, and it's really a good one. But because I feared looking incompetent at some point, I feared to say I don't know. But it used to give me a lot of work. When I would say I know what I'm talking about, I would speak yes. But then I would go back, research a lot about what I've been asked, so that when follow-up questions come, I know what to say. But you need to learn to be comfortable with saying I don't know, because it's in that you don't know that you can leave room for people to say, let him learn and then do. Let him learn and then do. Then another thing for you to make peace with your doubt is surround yourself with people who challenge you to think. Now, when you're doubtful, you're always thinking. When you're doubtful, you're always looking for knowledge, you're always looking for something to put you to the next step. Now, if you're around people who do not provoke your thinking, you'll always think, or you'll always use knowledge, the little thing you know, in confidence. And so you build up the confidence of ignorance. Yeah. Ideally, you should be around people who provoke you to think. Then, one other thing is to stop seeking absolute answers, but knowing that sometimes there are no answers. Yeah, it is complex the way I've said it, but break it down, think about it, That if you stop seeking for absolute answers, like chiwede, chiwede, or it is done, sometimes those answers are not there. So you should always have room for your doubt, room for the uncertainty. The same thing, I'll go back to Christianity and the Bible, because the Bible is quite a fascinating book, and happens that everything we always seek for is always there. So I was looking into the Bible, and in the book of Ecclesiastes, there's a verse that says, "For much wisdom comes so much sorrow." The more you know, the more sorrowful you become. And that's where this title came from, that the more you know, the more doubtful you are, the more curious you are, the more you see problem in something. That's why they say in relationships, in anything, if you suspect someone could be maybe cheating, don't look for more knowledge about it, because with so much wisdom comes a lot of sorrow. Yeah, I'll also take you to 1 Corinthians. There's something that talks about those who think they know something don't yet know it as don't yet know as they ought to know. That is just a reminder that knowledge is more about staying in that situation where you're open to learning. Knowledge is more about you learning more, getting to know more, than being in that point where you think you know all. So ideally, when you look at what the Bible is telling you, and what life is telling you, what these interesting human beings said about doubt, what I have said about doubt, you should know that at the end of the day, when you feel doubtful about something, that gut feeling, it means that you require more knowledge on whatever you're trying to pursue in that given time. Otherwise, I think that is it for this episode. I may have mumbled a lot, but it is all because I try to make this as natural as possible, and also as interesting as possible. Until next time, keep it at Bezos Chibozi. See you on next Monday. God bless you.